the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Crossing the Line. Today we're going to be having a look at the aftermath of the presidential debate between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Now, I don't know if Joe Biden even turned up for the debate. His corporeal form seemed to be up on stage. I don't think he really mustered up a defense or mustered up a breath the entire time. If you watched the debate, you'll know what I'm talking about. But if you didn't catch it, let's just say it's bad. It was worse than we'd kind of hoped for Joe. He didn't die on stage. He didn't seem to soil himself, although I don't know. He could have soiled himself. He does like doing that in important meetings and conferences and on important days, like he did last week or the week before on Normandy, the beaches of Normandy. He seemed to soil himself, but this time he kept his composure long enough to let Donald Trump beat him to death with his own incapability of standing up and debating. I don't know. Donald Trump's debate was rather conservative this time. He didn't lash out, and he wasn't as bombastic as he usually is, which is, it's kind of fun watching Donald Trump be bombastic and be a bit of a smart ass and, being Donald Trump, the comedian, stand-up comedian that he is. And it was kind of sad to watch Joe at the same time. It was as hilarious as you can imagine, but at this point, it's elder abuse. I mean, this man should be in hospice. He should be getting waited on by nurses and staff and not being thrown out to debate and not being given the nuclear button, nuclear briefcase, not being given, the most important seat in the entire US, I'd say. He shouldn't be there. He should be in a wheelchair, sitting at home, spending his last few days, maybe weeks if he's lucky, what all old people should be doing, spending time with family and friends and just relaxing. But no, the Democrats have gone and run him again, and we knew it was going to get to this point. I didn't believe they were going to put him up for a debate. I'm quite shocked, and a lot of people were thinking that they were going to swap him out before now. I didn't think so, honestly. I thought they would run him until the bitter end, because swapping him out would give the Democrats some sort of 4D chess move, 3D chess move, or something like that. Giving them some sort of, kudos to an intelligent plan. But I don't think they actually have a plan. I think they just hate Donald Trump. They want to pretty much rob the place blind before they get kicked out, and they think running Donald Trump through the courts and just calling him mean words on the internet and paying all the media to spread those words is going to be good enough. But the American people, not just the American people, here in Australia, we are suffering under the thumb of Joe Biden's ineptitude as well. We have major issues with the war in Ukraine, the war in Israel, tensions rising with China, Iran and Russia, World War III ever steamrolling closer. Our country is now looking to draft people into the military, as long as other countries in the world as well. Germany, United States, women even looking at getting drafted. That doesn't bode well for people in our age bracket. It doesn't really bode well for anyone. But Joe Biden has failed miserably in this debate. The Democrats are absolutely terrified now, and they are going to be swapping him out as soon as they can. I don't know who they'd swap him out for. Honestly, Kamala Harris is poison. She is just as bad as Joe. If you've ever heard that woman talk, Kamala has destroyed any sense of dignity she's had with the amount of stupid comments she's made, and she has an absolute zero appeal to anyone in America. No one likes Kamala, and no one wants to vote for her, and they definitely don't want to vote for Joe Biden after today, the debate. Now, we'll get into the story from the Post-Millennial. Breaking: New York Times editorial board calls for the President Joe Biden to drop out of the presidential race. Now, it's not just the New York Times. CNN themselves, just after the debate, they had chyrons down the bottom of the screen saying, like, can we keep Joe Biden in? Should we swap him out? Like, these conversations started during the debate. They thought, I don't know what they thought they were going to do. Like, at this point, are they believing their own propaganda? I mean, if you're watching this channel, you've obviously seen some of the videos of Joe Biden. You've seen what he is capable of or incapable of. He can barely string two words together. He can't finish a sentence. He defecates his pants constantly by the looks of it. Now, we can't confirm that, but, well, if the shoe fits or the diaper fits in this case, he has no idea what he's doing. I don't think he's actually running the country. I don't think he's running the United States at all. I think it's just the Democratic Party, and it's a lot of people just doing their jobs, supporting the regime that's in place, and just keeping this corpse afloat, honestly. I don't know what drugs they had him on the other night, but it must have been a concoction, and I don't think it worked too well. His voice was really raspy. Now, they're saying that he had a cold. He's had a cold for a while now, but I call BS on that, and I just say this is just the state of Joe Biden at this stage. I mean, the presidency isn't easy on anyone. I mean, we saw how much it aged Obama. We saw how much it aged the other presidents. So it's Trump, honestly, is the only one. Maybe it's because he goes and gets tans, and he's got that fantastic hairdo. And maybe it's McDonald's. All the preservatives in McDonald's are just keeping him vibrant and fit. Well, he's not fit, but, fit looking compared to Biden. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure it's taken a toll on Joe, and maybe all the issues with Hunter and the allegations of Joe showering with his niece, things like that maybe have taken a toll on him as well. I mean, his wife, Dr. Jill, I don't know what she's a doctor of. I doubt it's anything important, but she's probably quite worried about the poor old bugger, and I don't think it's going to bode well for him. If the entire leftist media propaganda machine, including people from from Young Turks, CNN, Jake Tapper there, who was at the debate there, protecting Biden as much as he could. No one's standing up for him. Everyone thinks, all right, he's done. Let's this turkey's cooked. Let's change him out. But the only person I know and I have seen standing up for Joe Biden at the moment is Harry Sisson. He is, if you don't know who he is about 7 years old. I don't know. I'm sure he's older than that. But some young kid on TikTok promotes Joe Biden, just works for the Democratic Party. He is a Democrat, or he's paid to be a Democrat through and through. He is the only person I've seen defending him wholeheartedly and just saying, Trump was mean to him and Trump lied and all these things, but he kind of neglects the fact that Joe Biden was barely conscious the entire debate. Harry Sisson is basically just a puppet for the left. He is the Democrats' human fleshlight, as I put it. I believe that's what he is, and he's a mouthpiece. He is the only person defending them. I mean, even Hassan Piker, Cenk's, nephew or something like that, is coming out and saying the same thing. This is a disaster. They've just lost the election here, which if you watch the election, the debate, it's plain to see that Biden really cooked the Democrats on this one. I mean, I don't know what they were expecting, but the New York Times and they're very important there. We will read this story. The New York Times thinks it's time to swap him out, so let's get into it. Breaking New York Times editorial board calls for the President Joe Biden to drop out of the presidential race. After shockingly bad debate performance, the editorial board of the New York Times has called President Joe Biden to drop out of the presidential race. The Times begins by reiterating that Biden himself said, which is that at stake in the coming election is the future of democracy itself. Democrats have repeatedly said that democracy is on the ballot. After taking aim at former president and the top contender Donald Trump, the Times writes, Mr. Biden said that he was the candidate with the best chance of taking on the threat of tyranny and defeating it. Now, I was going to say, New York Times, Donald Trump's already had 4 years in. What tyranny are you talking about? The only tyranny that occurred was from Democratic mayors and state reps and that locking people down during the flu season that we had for the last couple of years. There was no tyranny under Trump. Like, they said that he was going to be Hitler. They said he was going to be worse than him, actually. They said he was going to be a dictator. He's going to do all these horrible things. He didn't do any of those horrible things. He made the economy better. He took care of people and did his job. And to the best of his abilities any at the time, with everyone attacking him constantly, even his own people stabbing him in the back. And he did a pretty good job considering the amount of shit that they were flinging at him. I mean, it wasn't the best job, but like, honestly, as presidents go, he didn't start any new wars. He was trying to end the Afghanistan war. He started a withdrawal, which Biden end up screwing up majorly, which is another point I'll get to later. After taking aim at the former president, where are we? Mr. Biden, the candidate, the best chance of taking it. Yeah. They cite Thursday night debate where Biden fumbled, appeared confused, and at one point made little sense that Trump said, I really don't know what he said there at the end of the sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Trump said, I really don't know what he said. Yeah, we're going to have a look at this
President Biden, a record number of migrants have illegally crossed the southern border on your watch. Overwhelming border states and overburdening cities such as New York and Chicago, and in some cases causing real safety and security concerns. Given that, why should voters trust you to solve this crisis?
Because we worked very hard to get a bipartisan agreement that not only changed all of that, it made sure that we are in a situation where you had no circumstance where they could come across the border with the number of border police there are now. We significantly increased the number of asylum officers. By the way, the Border Patrol endorsed my position. In addition to that, we found ourselves in a situation where when he was president, he was separating babies from their mothers, putting them in cages, making sure they were, the families were
started
separated.
happening under Obama.
That's not the right way to go. What I've done since I've changed the law, what's happened? I've changed it in a way that now you're in a situation where there are 40% fewer people coming across the border illegally. That's better than when he left office. And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we can do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look, we had the safest border in the history of our country. The border, all you had to do was leave it.
President Biden.
Yeah, no one understood what he was saying. Like, yeah, you can make it out, but he's obviously having some issues just getting through that sentence. Not to mention the amount of times he lied there. The children in cages, that was Obama and himself. Every chance Biden's had in this entire debate, he lied. They're carrying on about Trump lying. They just say Trump lied. They don't point out where he lied or what he lied about or anything because they can be fact-checked. Biden getting fact-checked in real time just shows how inept he is, shows how bad he is, and shows how corrupt they are. He made a statement saying that no soldiers died under his watch. Joseph Biden lied to the American people, lied to everyone watching, saying that no American soldiers died whilst he was in presidency. That is a complete lie. I seem to recall during his botched efforts of retreating from Afghanistan, I think it was 13 Marines or 18 Marines died under his watch because of his withdrawal plans. So he's rushed that through, got people killed, and then goes to their as they're being unloaded from the plane on the tarmac. Joseph Biden, as the president of the United States, is standing there watching the corpses of those soldiers being unloaded, and he's standing there checking the time on his watch. Do you remember that story where he's standing there and he's looking at his watch like he's got somewhere better to be? And they just tell you that didn't happen. But you can go back, you can go look on YouTube and you can watch the video. You can see for yourself he does it. And then he goes on this debate years later and says that no service members died under his watch. That is disgusting. He's spitting on the graves of those men and women. He's spitting on the graves of every single veteran that's died under his watch. And he's spitting on the people that have suffered with their partners, with their family, and their loved ones dying under his watch because of his ineptitude, because of his cheese-holed, worm-ridden brain. It's insane. The Times said that Biden needed to perform well at the debate in order to convince the American public that he was equal to formidable at the office as he was seeking hold another term. Voters, however, cannot be expected to ignore what was instead plain to see. Mr. Biden is not the man he was 4 years ago. The story New York outlet had long been a supporter of the president and had nothing kind to say about Trump or his administration. They have held up the Capitol riot on January 6th as basically the worst thing of all time, an event that the American people should lament to no end, rendering their garments and judicial system in a desperate attempt to expunge it. It was just only a few short years ago in the summer of 2020 that the outlet blew up its opinion page over an op-ed from Senator Tom Cotton. Love Tom Cotton, don't we? Calling for the National Guard to quell the seemingly endless days of rioting over the George Floyd during the dog days of the pandemic. Now they're calling for the Democrat president to step aside, saying that he appeared as a shadow of himself and struggled to state his plan or respond to his opponent. They praise him with something more akin to a eulogy than a column, before saying that the greatest service Mr. Biden can now perform is to announce that he will not continue to run for re-election. That would be the best bet for the Democrats, for him to step down, for him to concede to even Kamala. It's got to be better than that. I don't see him. I don't see him doing it. I don't see it happening. I think they've made their bed. All these people screaming and carrying on that they didn't know this, that didn't know that he was this retarded, this old, this inept, and that he should be in hospice care. It's like a shock to them. I don't get. We've seen how many videos of him screaming about things that he can't even comprehend. Batacaf care is one. True and Shabbat pressure is another one. The whole corn pop saga from years ago, that was one. Tripping over constantly, can't go up a staircase, can't go down a staircase without falling over. You know, it's so plain. It's so easy to see that he was not the dude to put your money on, and these people have just ignored it because that's what the Democratic Party wants. So they have just stabbed every single Democrat in the back with this because they know that he cannot win this election. I don't want him to win. I don't think anyone really wants him to win. They just want a return to normality. They want to stop. You remember the days before you started caring about politics? Like you started even listening to them? Because they didn't affect you. It was a day-to-day. It didn't matter who was in. It was still the same thing. Like maybe you got taxed a little bit more. Maybe you got taxed a little bit less, depending on the government, especially here in Australia. But remember the days before everyone turned this into a blood sport? That's what we need to get back to as a population, as any political movement all around the world. Like, politics shouldn't be mainstream. It should be kind of niche, I suppose. I mean, the informed voter is, going to vote the right way. That's why I don't think a lot of women should vote, because they're just not informed. And that's why I think a lot of people, not just women, but a lot of people shouldn't be voting because they're not informed. And I think a lot of these Democrats have just been informed that Biden is a corpse. He's a ghost. He's a shell. He is a puppet. He is not going to win the next election. Now, They may try to put Trump in jail. They may try to kill Trump. Who knows? I wouldn't hold my breath saying that Trump's going to win, because the amount of dirty tactics the Democrats can and will and have done and used is astounding. But if Trump holds his cards to his chest, continues to be as conservative as he was in that debate, doesn't do anything outrageously stupid, say anything outrageously stupid to put all these undecided voters off, that debate just killed Joe Biden's chances of winning any election. The Democrats in general, I don't think it really matters who they run, unless they run Big Mike or Oprah maybe. Michelle Obama and Oprah might do it. Honestly, I don't know. It's a little too late. I can't see them getting in, but yeah, just a big name like that might do it. I don't know. It's got to be better than voting for Biden. That's all I can say is maybe RFK would have been a good choice. You guys, or, you shouldn't have killed all these good people off. I mean, like, RFK was in the Democrats. He would have been a great choice for it. Honestly, the world, I don't believe everything he says. I don't trust everything he says. And I don't think that he's the best candidate for it. I honestly think they need Trump. But it would have been better than Biden. And I don't see anyone voting for Kamala. She is a terrible, terrible human being, and using slave labor of the African American people in prison systems. It's probably not a good look. I don't know how she got where she is, and having the IQ of a fucking frog, it's astounding where she is. Democrats who have deferred to Mr. Biden now find the courage to speak plain truths to the party leaders. The Times insists the clearest path for Democrats to defeat the candidate defined by his lies is to deal truthfully with the American public knowledge that Mr. Biden can't continue this race and create a process to select someone more capable of standing in his place to defeat Mr. Trump and defeat Mr. Trump in November. They say before concluding that it is the best chance to protect the soul of the nation. The cause that Mr. Biden to run the presidency in 2019 for the malign warping of Mr. Trump. Following the debate, it was widely reported that Biden's performance became bigger and bigger flop. Dramatic operators, pundits, and officials were frantically messaging each other to finally acknowledge and find a solution to the obvious Biden problem. While reporters were not allowed to debate in the hall, which were housed only with the CNN production team, moderators, and two president's journalists interacted with surrogates from both campaigns. As adjacent spin room, Trump surrogates included a few men who were reportedly on the VP shortlist. The California Governor Gavin Newsom was on hand to speak and endorse Biden. See, now that's who they're going to use. That's who they're going to choose. They're going to choose Gavin Newsom. If everyone is ignorant to what he has done to the American people during COVID lockdown and the amount of people he killed, putting COVID patients into retirement homes and killing, what was it, like, quote me on this, but I think the last numbers was like 10,000 elderly people he killed. Gavin Newsom has destroyed his state. He's destroyed California as a whole. It's a den of crackheads and homeless people now. I don't see him winning, but you don't know. We never know. The dirty tricks the Democrats play. All we can say is that Biden definitely did not win that debate. The Democrats lost. They have probably just lost the election. Trump beat the ever-living piss out of him, and he did it nicely without being too boisterous and without losing any face. I mean, he was pretty conservative the entire time. He made a few jokes. He wasn't overzealous, and he wasn't too harsh, which beating the crap out of Biden as politely as he did probably did him favors. If he was nasty about it, probably would have put a few people offside, saying, "Hey, you can't be too mean to that old man. He's like half dead." But what do you guys think anyway? Do you think Joe Biden is going to be swapped out? I think they'll swap him out soon, but if they're going to, they're going to have to do it soon. Trump needs to pick his VP. That's one thing I'm really hanging on. Praying that he does it with Vivek. He chooses Vivek. Vivek like cake. Hopefully he chooses Vivek Ramaswamy, but we will see. I don't think they're going to swap Biden out. I think they'll just run him, and unless he has some sort of real bad health problem, I think they're just going to stick with him. I don't think they can admit defeat. I don't think they can admit that they were wrong. What do you guys reckon anyway? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like and share the video around. Follow me there on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, anything. All the links are down in the description below. And I'll see you in the next episode.
This guy hasn't fired anybody. He never fires. He should have fired every military man that was involved with that the Afghanistan horror show, the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. He didn't fire. Did you fire anybody? Did you fire anybody that's on the border that's allowed us to have the worst border in the history of the world? Did anybody get fired for allowing 18 million people, many from prisons, many from mental institutions? Did you fire anybody that allowed our country to be destroyed? Joe, our country is being destroyed as you and I sit up here and waste a lot of time on this debate. This shouldn't be a debate.
Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.